Welcome back for episode 272 of the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP 272, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, joined today by producer / co-host extraordinaire, Myrriah Gossett.
I'm back.
Back again.
I'm here.
Third time?
I think so. Third or fourth.
3, 4?
One of those.
How's your week going?
It's all right. You know, the patriarchy sucks.
Sure.
But that's inevitable.
It's still there.
It's still there. But
the weather's been nicer, though, which is great.
Today is much better. Yesterday was just, like, really crappy. So I ate a cupcake yesterday, and that made a lot of things better.
You want to know a sad admission? Well, first of all, we had this incredible cupcake sponsor several weeks back before Valentine's Day. I ate through the cupcakes that they sent me like the first night, right? So I didn't even get to enjoy them anywhere near Valentine's Day. And then, as of late, I've really struggled with my keeping my place stocked with food. So I keep hitting that spot, like in the day where I would need a cupcake, or I'll give you mine. Like recently, it's been like I'll have like a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios to make me feel better.
I have not had a bowl of cereal in so long, but that does sound good.
Why not?
I just can't, like, we don't go through milk fast enough, so it just, like, goes,
See, I have the opposite problem.
Just goes down the drain.
I eat so much cereal that the milk is constantly empty, and then I'm not going to eat dry cereal.
No.
No.
Have you heard how Hassan Minhaj eats cereal?
No.
Have you heard him talk about this? So he eats the dry cereal and then has a cup of milk and combines them in his mouth so that they stay crunchy.
That's either genius or the most insane thing I've ever heard.
I also can't figure out which one, but...
Because it's like, what do we apply this to everything? Now what am I going to fucking do? I make the tomato sauce and the like little spaghetti pieces separate, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about this. It's a dangerous, slippery slope.
Deconstructed cereal.
Deconstructed cereal. I don't know how to feel about it. Speaking of which, earlier today, my therapist, I have a new one. She's fantastic, by the way. I don't know how that works.
Yay, therapist.
In terms of like...
you got to find the person who's right for you.
Well, no, I mean, like, am I allowed to be like, I have this new therapist, her name is this, and she's awesome, and now everybody knows? I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't know how that works.
I know other shows, sometimes they'll drop just the first name, not the last name.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do either just for safety's sake, but she's incredible. But there's a big but here. Not like that. But she did tell me today that in order to grow to the next level of life, I will have to go back and make friends with 17-year-old me. Which was daunting.
Man.
17-year-old me was fucking trash. And now I have to go back and meet this shithead again. And the thing is, this was like the original, when I first started going to talk therapy back in like 2000 and whenever. I turned 21, I had my first panic attack, and I was like, I got to do something here. That was like the first phase of my life that I worked through, right? My teens, when my parents were like going through the divorce, and I had like caused myself some trauma that I never worked through that caused issues for me. But I never gone back and like assessed that dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And really what the thing my therapist has a problem with is that I still don't like him. Which is weird, to not like a version of yourself from the past.
But do you have to like them or just like love that you worked through it?
Apparently both.
Oh, dang.
She's like going to make me fucking like this guy. Anyway.
Now I'm going to talk to my therapist about this.
See? Now everybody's, it's just like one layer deeper for everybody. It's a goddamn disaster. Every time I'm like, have I finished the work of self-improvement? Some shit happens, or my therapist tells me I have to make friends with the 17-year-old me, which, by the way, the guy's high as a kite on cocaine just constantly. How am I going to talk to him? I can't go from that straight into a fucking ad read. I really wanted to, and then I was like, no, I can't. I really, really can't. Did y'all know you can watch these episodes now on YouTube.com/Bolen Media? It's very true. We record every single one of them with 4 cameras in here at Permanent Record. We got professional lights and shit to make me not look so ghastly. Both. Either or.
Same time.
Exactly. RBP 272, that was enough space, is brought to you by Leesa, your mattress is the most important purchase you'll ever make for your place. Whether you're grinding in a studio apartment or you live in a 4-bedroom with 2 kids or some shit, having a fantastic bed for your mind and body to rest on every night is paramount. Leesa knows how important rest is to a better life. Leesa is the foundation of a healthier, happier you. And to Leesa, a bed is more than just a place to sleep. It's a place for relaxation and rest. I have huge fucking news on this front. I have a new Leesa mattress currently en route to my home. And this is big because I've been sleeping on a Leesa for years and years. Okay? I've had their hybrid for 4 years, I think. And it's the most comfortable bed, as I have said, hundreds of times literally, that I have ever laid eyes or body on. Okay? Here's the news, though. Leesa dropped a new mattress. The Legend mattress, all right? There's the Leesa mattress, there's the hybrid, and now there's the Legend. So, of course, I'm going to get the Legend, find out what all the hype is about, and report back. Right? It's my job. So I've got a new Legend coming. Y'all have to be as excited as I am. Right? All of their products at Leesa, though, thoughtfully designed to go beyond creating a comfortable bed to transform your bedroom into a sanctuary you actually want to spend time in. The most advanced luxury hybrid is made with premium foams and springs for enhanced pressure relief with edge-to-edge support. You can see the breakdown of all their mattresses on their website. It's cool as shit. How the hybrid differs from the Legend, for instance, is quite interesting to me. And all of their products, phenomenal. Their pillows, their blankets, everything I have from Leesa, I have loved. Leesa believes all people should have access to deep rest and relaxation, and as such, they make it easy for their customers to know they've made the right choice through their social impact initiatives tied to each purchase. They donate 1 mattress for every 10 they sell through organizations that work in causes like foster care prevention. To date, they've donated more than 33,000 mattresses through more than 1,000 nonprofits. Leesa mattresses are made in the USA. In-home delivery and setup is available. Financing is also available. Do not miss out. RBP Gang, live healthier, live happier by resting deeper. Order today and get 15% off any mattress for a limited time at leesa.com/RBP. Use the promo code RBP. That's LEESA.com/RBP. Promo code RBP. Keep in mind, you also get a 100-night risk-free trial plus free shipping and returns. And keep in mind that I've been sleeping on this thing for 4 years and can't shut up about it. And keep in mind that I'm getting the Legend. And keep in mind that my Mimi has one of them shits too. Never forget that Leesa sent my Mimi a bed. Some announcements and shouts. Happy birthday to Cam. I hope it's a great one. Happy birthday to Alyssa from Atlanta. Happy 21st birthday to Jack Kowalski. I like that name. Happy birthday to everybody in the RBP gang that had one this week. Hit me with the shouts, though. Hit me with the specific requests so that I can remove this generic, everybody gets a happy birthday now. What is this? I'm deleting it. Now it is gone, which means that next week I won't remember it was there ever. It'll never happen again. You'll
Only
have to give
specific birthdays.
I'm going to need names. You must name names. If you want more RBP every month, ad-free, you can support the show on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. In exchange, you'll get premium RBP only available on Patreon. Thank you to everyone on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast for making this show possible, for keeping Bolen Media moving in the right direction. It means an enormous amount. Some amends and fact-checking. Intern Natalie provided me with amends from RBP 270 and 271. 271st. Cannibalism is prevalent in aquatic ecosystems, in which up to approximately 90% of the organisms engage in cannibalistic activity at some point in their life cycle.
Fish eat fish.
Wonder why that is. Also, many rodent mothers may eat some of their young if they're sick, dead, or too numerous to feed. Bears and lions kill and eat the offspring of adult females to make them more receptive to mating. Natalie, this is very dark. Here's the next one she wrote. Have a celibic. Oh, that's a person. Hava? Don't know. Celibic is an 80-year-old woman from Bosnia who claims to be the world's only tongue healer. She charges about $10, what do you mean about, to lick people's eyeballs, to remove pieces of coal, iron, and other foreign objects. Why were we talking about licking eyeballs? I can't even remember what happened there.
I don't know. We got on that track because you were talking about like Jim Carrey with the eyeball thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it related to the lizard, though, was it? Nah.
I think it was.
Was it?
Because it licks its own eyes to clean it because it can't blink. And then I was like, ugh, nothing around my eyeballs.
Wow, you have a good memory.
Tangents.
Yes. This is why Myrriah is here. Because she knows what happened in the episode we recorded 3 days ago, whereas I do not.
No memory.
No memory.
Just go blank.
Also, how do you get coal in your, or I guess, these are miners. Coal mines, iron mines, other foreign substance mines. She licks your eye and gets them out. $10, thereabouts.
Guess if you have no other options, it's probably a pretty good deal.
Yeah. No mirror. You go to this woman, Hava Celibic.
She's got you.
The Bosnian woman with a tongue of gold.
I want like a really bad infomercial for her.
Yeah, exactly like Miss Cleo, except with that kind of attitude, though. Here's the last one from 270. During 2000 to 2017, a total of 1,109 deaths from hornet, wasp, and bee stings occurred, for an annual average of 62 deaths. Deaths ranged from a low of 43 in 2001 to a high of 89 in 2017. Approximately 80% of the deaths were among males.
Interesting.
Well, we can't stop climbing trees and trying to get the honey out. It's a male problem. RBP 271 amends. Each locust in a swarm can eat its own weight in food per day. A small portion of an average swarm eats around the same amount as 10 elephants or 2,500 people. Holy shit. That's disgusting. Aardvarks, their name comes from South Africa's Afrikaans language and means earth pig. I like earth pig. Earth pig might be my rap name. Speaking of which, Rap God by Eminem packs 1,560 words into a fast and furious 6 minutes 4 seconds. 1,560 words in 6 minutes and 4 seconds. That's an average of 4.28 words per second. That's too many words.
He's not giving you any space to process.
No. What is this verse about? Nobody knows. In one 15-second segment alone, he spit 97 words, 6.46 words per second. Apparently that's supersonic speed. Great. Good for Marshall. He tried to make this into a challenge on Instagram because everybody has to make everything into a challenge. By the way, you'll notice we've never done a challenge. We're probably not going to.
Aren't they all TikTok challenges now anyway? He's like 10 years behind.
That's basically what he was trying to integrate. He was like, it's him doing the verse. That's the challenge. And then other people trying to do the verse. And then it turns out, actually, I went onto the hashtag in Instagram, and there's like 3 dudes who can crush that verse that are not Eminem.
Yeah. I 100% believe that.
It's wild. People can talk super fast. It's not just Twista and Eminem. There's normal dudes out there just ripping through words.
Also, Nicki can crush it.
Yes, she's fast too. President Abraham Lincoln did not enjoy retirement. Richard Nixon did not enjoy impeachment. The population of China is 1.439 billion. First segment, hotline calls. Today, for the first time in a while, we're going to take some calls from 888-WR-BOLEN. It's the hotline you can call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can ask a question. You could give us a take. You could be a trash or not trash situation, a hypothetical. You could tell us a story if need be. Sing us a song if you want to, although I don't recommend that unless you're Sam O'Hare or Rob Baird or somebody that's actually meant to be singing. Today's calls are all very, very, very strange and random. I'll just warn you with that. This first one, perhaps the strangest. I'm just gonna play it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, here it is.
Hey Ross, AJ, whoever else, Mike, Jared, whoever the fuck.
Right.
Matt from Richmond, Virginia, long time listener. Got a I don't know if it's trash, not trash, but need to know an answer. So when y'all are doing your manscaping with your lawnmower 2.0
or 3,
y'all shave the gooch
all
the way down. Personally, I don't. I fix everything in the upper region, get the balls nice and good, so the girls can suck on them. They don't want any hairy balls in their mouth.
Jesus Christ, guy.
I leave the gooch. Gooch is hairy. No one touches it. Make
That's
sure
why no one
it's clean.
touches
No
it.
dingleberries in there when you're in the shower. But just wanted to get y'all's take. You got hairless gooch. Oh, shout out to Big Gooch. It's one of my best friends. Big Gooch. Gang, gang, gang.
Big Gooch. What a nickname.
Okay. Not only is he calling in asking Gooch questions, he's also got a friend named Big Gooch. Also doesn't shave his gooch. Why not? In what protest, sir? If you're already down there doing the balls, go for it. That's the worst. I would argue leave the balls hairy before the gooch. The gooch is a trap of disgusting moisture, liquid, solid. Everything down there is bad if you leave it hairy. And the hairier it gets, the worse it gets.
I think as long as you keep it trim, you don't have to go crazy bald.
No, I'm not saying go down there and attack.
Yeah.
But keep it at the same, cleanliness you keep the rest of your shit. Gooch, what a word. You know what I call it? The Grundle. I don't say Gooch because it makes me, it's just gross. I feel like you can't get away with saying Gooch past the age of like 17.
I also don't want to ask. I'm not 100% sure where the Gooch is.
I mean, it's between
like
your balls and your asshole.
So the fleshy fun bridge?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing as the Grundle.
Take care of it. Cosmopolitan has told women for decades that we should play with that in order to please men.
Yeah, we know. We're aware.
It happens.
Because women won't stop trying.
I don't know if it works.
I think it does on some of us. But still.
Again, you got to communicate what you like.
You do. You really do. I've only had a situation. One time I had a situation where this chick, it was a drunk hookup situation, and this girl had clearly, her former boyfriend or whatever, was clearly into something that I it's not that I'm not into it or that I don't know, honestly. She went for it. And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? I need to stop thinking about it and move forward and play another call. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, dude, just look. That whole area needs to be treated with the same amount of respect.
And clean it as much as you clean your face.
That's a good rule. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to follow that rule, but it's still a good rule.
Just generally.
Sure. Next call? Please don't be about gooches.
Bro, motherfucking Bolen! What's up, bro? It's Bud from Maryland again. I took a little break, but I came back to your podcast today, and I was listening to your segment about how ridiculously overpriced fucking head shops are. And you are so right. My only argument is we got to keep them in business. So find yourself a good head shop where you can go in and you can wheel and deal with these people, because if we put them out of business by buying everything online, then we're fucked. There's no hippie hangout. There's no place where we go to meet sexy hippie girls. You know what I mean? Just something to think about, man. Later.
All right, so I'll be honest. I had not considered the downside of blackballing the head shop. And as a community hangout, they're not bad. But there's another reason that these don't play for me, and that's that I'm not a wheeler and dealer. Do you haggle with people?
I don't haggle, mostly because I am friends with the women who run the head shop that I go to, so I feel like they already give me like a friends and fam discount.
But I mean in general. Like if you're in a store and you feel like you're being overpriced on something, are you going to say like...
I mean, it depends on the store. If it's like a mom and pop shop, I don't know if I really want to or need to, because I feel like they're dealing with the overhead of dealing, with
Walmart.
With Walmart and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
But if it's like a Walmart anywhere I can bring like a coupon to show that it's cheaper somewhere else, I'll do that.
Yeah,
but only if I actually remember. Half the time I'm just too lazy to do it.
I guess there are certain places, and head shops perhaps are one of them, where you're allowed to sort of haggle if you wanted to. Like you could take a stab at a lower price than what's listed, because at most places in my head, the price listed is the price they expect you to pay, and if you came with anything else, you're coming incorrect and insulting them, frankly. So maybe just head shops, it's all right. And here's the reason, if you never heard that episode when I said they were trash and I was saying like we need to avoid them, or that it's like the reason was because they're wildly overpriced, like the bongs in particular. And that's because we're idiots and we'll go in and pay that price. And I think they have to sell like one bong a week.
I think it also depends on the brand. Like if it's like the more commercially made stuff, I don't feel as bad about haggling about price. But if it's like a handmade glass blown bong, like you're paying for an artist to make something for you,
then you feel not okay about haggling.
Correct.
I'm the reverse. I feel like artists are like, I'll fucking haggle with you.
But
I
like,
blew this with
I'd
my
rather
hands.
pay the artist who blew it with their hands than the machine made stuff.
Yeah, it's something about the listed price in those places, and I'm like, I've never felt like I could be like, yo, I know this bong's not worth $250. Let me give you $100.
You can also just make your own.
With glass, like blow glass?
No, I've made them out of like old
Oh, you
wine
mean-
bottles. And,
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Yeah. But I smoke like entirely too much weed to not have a very professional device that takes
Right.
care of my lungs. Otherwise, shit gets weird. You'll hear it in here.
there's also coupons all the time for the like in Austin for Planet K. I feel like every
Fucking
weekend.
love Planet K.
Every weekend there's a 20% off coupon in the mailbox.
Shouts to Planet K because that's the one that it makes me think of when he says that they're necessary, that these head shops are necessary. Where else are we going to go to meet sexy hippie girls? First of all, never met one in a head shop, but the concept I love.
Yeah. And I know like I go to Mary J Smoke Culture here in town, and like they throw parties like once a month.
See?
It's dope. And they have like dab bars they set up. It's great.
Okay, there's a fucking smoke shop across the street from my house. It's called Lazy Days, and it is never open.
It's just
like
a
the
front,
dude who opened it clearly was just like, I really want to run a smoke shop,
but I'm going to forget
but
to
I
go to
also,
work every day.
yeah, I don't want to work that much,
Yeah,
and
that
maybe
checks out.
forgot to hire any employees. It's just abandoned. So I'm like, I just want to go buy some rolling papers, man. Just all you have to do is sit behind the counter. The shit. Anyway, it's weird. One more call? What was that one even about?
Head shop.
Oh, yeah, head shops. Hippie chicks.
We stayed on task.
We did good. Last call. Let's see how we do with this one.
Oh yeah, I got a question. This is Riker from Sunnyside, San Diego.
Riker.
We just want to know, do you think it's harder to talk to somebody when you can't see their face or when you can? So I think it's harder when you can't see their face because you can't see their facial expressions. You don't really know what's going on inside their head. And I like to just be able to see that. And I work and I can't see their face sometimes and I'm knocking doors. And this voicemail, I just like can't do it.
Yeah.
So, thank you. We love the pod. I like to end all of these voicemails with that, I guess. It's been the trend. So, thank you. Thank you.
The royal we. We love the pod.
Who is the we here? What in the fuck was the beginning of that? What was he singing?
It sounded like Ave Maria.
Was that Ave Maria? I love Ave Maria.
I think that was an attempt at Ave
Okay,
Maria.
it was an attempt at Ave Maria. I can deal with that. I don't know what the rest of the call was, though.
Whether or not you think it's easier to talk to someone face to face or like over the phone, or you can't see their face, Skype, or they won't open the door. It sounds like, I have a theory
Okay, hit me.
that this guy is working for a canvassing organization because he said people don't open the door, and when I'm working I can't see their faces.
Okay.
And so I'm betting he's been someone who's been like making political phone calls and knocking on doors and all this stuff, because I used to run one of those offices.
Oh, shit.
And it is hard. People will like crack the door and be like, what do you want? And you're like, I just need to give you this piece of literature, please. Just take it from
Please
me.
take it.
Please just take
It's
it.
just my job.
I need to deliver a certain amount of these
I'm
pieces of
calling
paper.
the police.
Yeah, they don't like it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have an answer for this. Related to a recent thing, too. All right, well, first of all, in podcasting, obviously it's preferable to have your guest in studio rather than over the phone, right? It's just easier to communicate with somebody face to face when you can look them in the eye than it is over the phone if you don't know them. And here's my reasoning. I spent a good amount of time recently speaking with somebody on the phone that I did not know well, okay? We just met. I'm not going to give you any the explanation around this, just give you what you need. We had just met. So first couple phone calls, we're stumbling over each other,
Right.
cutting each other off. I don't know when they've stopped speaking versus me. We don't know each other yet. But now we've hung a few times or whatever. We've spoken more. We're used to each other. We know how we speak. It doesn't happen anymore. We don't cut each other. So we could do the phone now, and it's fine. It doesn't make a difference. But so that's the thing I'm saying. If you know somebody really well, I think it can get to a point where it doesn't matter. If you're face-to-face or you're communicating over the phone and you can't see their face. Obviously, facial emotions and reactions add another layer of communication to a conversation if you can see each other. But I'm just saying, there is definitely a learning curve there that you can improve upon.
I would
something.
agree with that. Yeah.
It's tight. I've just never really noticed that before. Because that is the hard part about like interviewing somebody over the phone is I never know when the fuck they're going to stop talking. And then anytime I cut them off to try to insert some quip or a joke or some shit, and then it derails them, and then there's more awkward silence over the phone than there is in the studio.
More to edit out.
More to edit out. Well, we don't even edit fucking stuff. We just leave it.
But
yeah, theoretically, no. I mean, obviously, always face to face is preferred. I think it's definitely harder to sell somebody on something or to like convince somebody or to really get somebody to feel you over the phone rather than in person.
I have a related question for you. Thoughts on people who FaceTime with friends or family in a public place without headphones on?
Okay. We have given some takes on the public, like audio, anything in public, speaker, any of that. That's all trash. That's terrible. If you go into the gym with a fucking speaker playing, no, awful. No one should ever have to listen to the other person on the other side of the phone. It sucks we have to listen to you. We don't want to hear the other person. What's strange to me, let me ask you this. Let me answer your question with a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you FaceTime?
I only FaceTime with my family in Canada, and it's because we probably see each other like once every other year.
And is this every time y'all talk?
It is not every time. It's
so
only
do y'all
if
still
like
call each other regularly? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's probably more regular phone calls than there are FaceTime calls. It's also because it is cell phone plans are expensive in Canada. This is like very specific, but
okay.
So it's cheaper to call each other over a Wi-Fi enabled app.
Sure.
And so like Facebook always wants you to do the FaceTime thing or whatever it is. So,
Okay.
so that's usually why we do it that way.
Okay. Because I've noticed there are people like myself.
I don't like it though.
I'm not a FaceTimer.
Because I just want to put my phone down and have my headphones on.
Yeah.
And I don't need to like hold it up.
I don't like walking around. I'm always trying to like what. I'm walking around like this. Like how far do I need it?
Yeah.
Like everybody looks like a fucking potato on there. It's none of us look attractive on FaceTime.
That means I can't do something else while I'm on the phone. Because I usually put on headphones and I'm like, oh, well, I'll like fold laundry or do the dishes or like get some menial task done.
I'm usually picking my nose.
You know, other
which
things.
is then that now they can see that.
Right.
It's problematic for me. I've never been a really big FaceTime guy. And every once in a while somebody will FaceTime me and I'll stare at it while it just rings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, nah.
Not happening.
Nah. You don't get to see me. Unless you come over here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fucking call me and see me. You're cheating. But it gives me anxiety for some reason. Shit, this motherfucker's about to be able to see my face. I don't know. I haven't looked at my face in a while. What does it even look like? These are the thoughts that go through my head. I think that's probably enough time on the hotline. Dear God. 888-WR Bolen is the number. We really discussed Gooches.
Head shops.
Sexy hippie girls in head shops. And then faces.
Face off.
Face off. New sponsor alert. Pay attention. This is seriously important. Y'all are going to fucking love this. RBP 272 is also brought to you by, for the first time ever, Riomar, the new standard in footwear, pioneering versatility through innovation. Y'all peep RiomarShoes.com. It's RIOMAR shoes.com/RBP. Check them out while I speak on them. They're fucking awesome. Casual enough to not look like a Chad, but nice enough that you don't look like a stew. Right there in the sweet spot where I like it. Built for the ever-changing world around us. Between the waterproof leathers and non-smell insides, this shoe is perfect for spring break or the beach this summer or boating in the springtime with a sexually attractive human at your side. The customizable bearing, by the way, I got my, these literally arrived as I was leaving to come record in the studio today. They have these customizable bearings. They let you swap out styles to change out the look of your shoe while traveling with multiple pairs of shoes or just day to day. I literally received my RBP custom ones today. They're fucking sick. But you can go with like whatever you want. A monogram. You can show your school pride. They're so customizable that it will melt your brain. You can make them into any vibe you need. I mean, that's the cool thing about these shoes is that even just utilizing the bearings, you can make your pair into whatever vibe you need anytime you need them. Riomar's motto is change your bearings, not your soul. You can literally email them and they will try to put anything you want on these bearings, by the way. Just a crazy aside. Right now, you can get exclusive offer just for our listeners. Go to riomarshoes.com/RBP. Use the code RBP. That's RIOMAR shoes.com/RBP. Use the code RBP. Today, when you check out, get 15% off your first pair and any extra set of bearings you want. If you want something special, email the Commodore. He will do his best to oblige. Again, RiomarShoes.com/RBP. Use the code RBP, 15% off your first pair and any extra set of bearings you want. If you're worried about sizing and fit, don't. They want you in the best fit for you and will happily exchange your kicks. Don't sleep on this rare opportunity to get a discount. By the way, their company president is a friend of mine as well. Good people, people helping people. New sponsor, support them. Riomar Shoes. Riomar, spelled RIOMAR, shoes.com/RBP. Code RBP for 15% off at checkout. Next segment. It's the animal of the week. Is it playing the music?
Animal of the week.
Stuff, fuck me. It's stuff to Wikipedia when you're
All right,
high.
Now I'm going to play it.
Boom!
Grab your light. This is stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
Stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
Admittedly, I am high. Animal of the week. Jesus Christ. This guy's a human. Richard Proenneke. Proenneke? It could be any of the above. Proenneke. Richard I'll just call him Dick Pro. This guy is our stuff to Wikipedia when you're high. It's not an animal of the week.
No ant.
No ant. We did animal of the
He
week.
probably saw a lot of animals, though.
It's Aardvark week. This guy definitely saw a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Have to imagine. Dick Pro was an American self-educated naturalist who lived alone for nearly 30 frickin' years in the mountains of Alaska in a log cabin that he constructed by hand near the shore of Twin Lakes. He hunted, fished, raised, and gathered his own food. He had supplies flown in occasionally, apparently, which sounds like cheating. He documented his activities in journals and on film, also recorded valuable meteorological and natural data. Dick Pro, living out there in the lonely 30 years. How long could you do?
By myself?
How long could you go camp in the wilderness, no human contact?
Like a long weekend? Sounds nice.
I think I could go. If I really was like, how long before I would lose my mind? I think a month, and I'd be done. Like, what the?
I would need like a project to complete in that time. Otherwise, I think I would.
Yeah, the project
I would go
can't just be
bananas.
survival.
No. It would be like, Myrriah, write a book, or like finish a script. But yeah, it can't just
Maybe
go
build
out.
a log cabin.
Yeah, I
by
think
the
if there's
Twin
like
Lakes.
if there was a task, it'd be fine.
Then you'd be okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm a big extrovert. I need other people.
People helping people.
Yeah.
Proenneke's father, William Christian Proenneke, served in World War I and later made his living as a well driller. His mother, Laura, was a homemaker. I love that Wikipedia always includes like random, unnecessary facts about people's parents and shit. We
Like,
could
did
talk
it
about
have a direct impact? I mean, I'm sure his parents had a direct impact on his life, but
no.
their
This is
occupations did it?
no, unimportant. This dude Proenneke, though, the guy who ends up living in the woods for 30 years by himself in the log cabin, he enlisted in the United States Navy the day after the attack on Pearl Harbor and served as a carpenter. Spent close to 2 years at Pearl Harbor, later stationed in San Francisco, waiting to join a new ship assignment. After hiking a mountain near San Francisco, he contracted rheumatic fever and was hospitalized at Norco Naval Hospital for 6 freaking months.
Dang.
Yeah. So during his convalescence, the war ended, and he was given a medical discharge from the Navy in 1945. What a bummer. I mean, you know.
He seems like someone who was like, I'm ready for action.
Yeah,
and then
he
his
signed up-
body was like, nope.
Yeah, he signed up the next day. He's stoked to defend his country and pissed about Pearl Harbor, you have to imagine. Didn't even get to really do it. Of course, he served, but bummer about the sickness and the medical discharge.
Carpentry makes sense, though, if he built that log cabin.
Yeah, for sure. What else? So he gets out of the Navy. He goes to school to become a diesel mechanic. Apparently, he's a very smart dude, great work ethic. Eventually, he yields to his love of nature. He moves to Oregon. He works at a sheep ranch. Finally moves out to Alaska in 1950, and for several years he works as an equipment operator and a repairman on a naval air station at Kodiak.
Nice.
Becomes a salmon fisherman, diesel mechanic, works for Fish and Wildlife Service at King Salmon on the Alaska Peninsula. At what point does he decide, fuck it, I'm out? I'm going out to the cabin. May 21st, 1968, he arrives at his new place of retirement at Twin Lakes. Apparently, beforehand, he had made arrangements to use a cabin on the upper lake of Twin Lakes, owned by retired Navy Captain Spike Carruthers. The Carruthers? What a name, Spike. And his wife, Hope of Kodiak. What?
Spike and Hope. They sound
Spike and Hope.
interesting folks.
So he moves out to the cabin, handmade, 30 fucking years. What the hell, man?
Just him and animals.
And cameras. He was like filming all this.
Yeah. I will say, though, if you like living in a place that is that cold and it's much more, there aren't like central AC and air and like heating. So your day is pretty packed because you're going to have to like find your food.
It's lots of foraging and chopping, I feel like. Chopping.
Homesteading, I think, is like the thing. Because I know even when I go back home to the not so wildernessy Canadian wilderness that my family's in. But,
what part of Canada?
We're in British Columbia. So it's like a small island off the coast of Vancouver. And like, we have to do a lot of stuff during the day. You got animals you got to feed. You got to go chop wood if you don't have it already done.
It's freezing there?
It's not the coldest part of Canada, but it's still cold. The power goes out a lot. So that's the reason you have wood-fired stoves. Because otherwise, it's going to be chilly.
I feel you.
But yeah. So your day is full of other things. Also, during the winter, you literally have less daylight. So the sun...
In Alaska?
Oh, even less. Like
yeah,
in the
what's
winter,
their situation?
You've got like 4 hours of daylight.
Isn't there a part of Alaska where it's just like there is no sun or something?
Yeah, I think the upper part of Alaska, there's no sun during the winter. And then in the summer, the sun like never goes away.
What's the opposite of a depressed person? Is there a thing? Is that a thing? A diagnosis? Can you be too happy? That's where we should send the opposite of depressed people, to that sunless hell.
Just so they can experience depression?
Just to get them down to the normal level. I've got a buddy we could send out there. He's overly positive. He needs to spend some time in Alaska, in the sunless part of Alaska.
He'd probably be like, "Oh, look how beautiful the stars are."
He would. He'd find a way to fucking
He'd be
enjoy
like,
it.
check out these northern lights.
That son of a bitch. You know who you are. Anyway, so he films all this shit. He makes a film record of his solitary life. It's later re-edited. It's made into a documentary called Alone in the Wilderness. In 2011, a sequel was produced after enough footage for at least 2 more programs were discovered. What is this, like after Tupac's death, they found records he worked on? The guy was still alive. I don't understand how there was a confusion here. Alone in the Wilderness Part 2 premiered on December 2nd, 2011. His cabin that he lived in for 30 years was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 2007. In 1999, at age 82, he left his cabin and moved to, Hemet, California, where he lived the remainder of his life with his brother Raymond Jake Proenneke. Died of a stroke on April 20th, 2003. Is that 420? At the age of 86. Nice. He willed his cabin to the National Park Service, and it remains a popular visitor attraction in the still remote Twin Lakes region of Lake Clark National Park. What I don't get is, if you're going to put in a 30-piece, 30 fucking years in solitude, why return to California and live with your brother Jake?
He probably just needed it for health reasons, would be my...
Is your guess?
My
Because he was
guess.
old. Because he was an old man.
Probably because he couldn't keep up with his day-to-day anymore.
I don't know, man. That's that lonely of a life. I don't know how I could do that.
But
That's
is it really
so wild.
lonely?
But you're alone.
There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. You can be in a room full of people and be lonely.
I'm like you though. I'm like you said. I need people. I need to interact with other human beings. I cannot just interact with myself. Right? Like, in time, that normalness of solitude will become bad. Because I don't have a problem being alone.
Does it say he was like 100% alone
For
all
a
the
lot
time?
of it, he was alone, yeah.
Because I'm sure there's like other people who come up to that lake and he's got like friends and the person who flies in his supplies.
I think the supply guy was like the only fucking person he was seeing.
I mean.
And who knows how shitty that guy was? He's a supply guy.
I mean, you got to be nice to the supply guy.
You absolutely do. And if you're thinking about like doing what Proenneke did, by the way, moving off into the wilderness, perhaps you should pay attention to our next sponsor. RBP 272 is also brought to you by Away. Away creates thoughtful products designed to change how you see the world. They started with the perfect suitcase, crafted with features that make travel more seamless. Now they make a range of essentials that solve real travel problems. So all you have to think about is where you're headed to next. I hit the Cayman Islands last summer. Big beach guy. Huge on the rest and relaxation that the beach and ocean provide. But everybody likes to travel differently. Away offers a range of suitcases made of different materials like polycarbonate, aluminum, durable nylon, and a variety of colors and sizes. So whoever you are and whatever you need to pack, wherever you're going, Away has luggage that will help make your next trip more seamless. Truly, these are the best designed travel accessories and luggage and carry-ons I have ever been fortunate enough to use. They're designed to last a lifetime with durable exteriors that can withstand even the roughest of baggage handlers. You don't know what those dudes are doing with your bags, throwing them around. Away makes stuff that's durable enough to handle that. I have the carry-on. I also have the Weekender. I use both constantly, unmatched in performance and durability. That TSA-approved combination lock keeps your boys' belongings safe, and every suitcase comes with an interior organization system that includes a built-in compression pad to help you pack more. Thing's fucking awesome. If you've never had a suitcase that has one of these, you're not getting enough outfits in. And there's a hidden and removable laundry bag that separates your dirty clothes. If you're one of these freaks that's just throwing your dirty laundry back into your suitcase and mixing it up with all your other clothes so that when you get home, the stuff you didn't wear, it all smells like ass, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. And you're disgusting. Stop it. Start your risk-free 100-day trial and shop the entire Away lineup of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases, at awaytravel.com/Ross. That's AWAY travel.com/Ross. Go to awaytravel.com/Ross today. Next segment. Larry David's splash-free toilet. Myrriah, I confirmed with you off mic that you have seen this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Indeed.
Season 10 is on HBO right now. By the way, we're covering it on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, our television and film podcast here at Bolen Media. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. In this episode, when it comes up earlier in the season, actually, Larry addresses something, finally, and this, I can't tell you how much joy this brought me, that we have addressed here many times on this show, about the inadequacies of men's urinals and the splashback situation that occurs. Now, for the females in the audience or anyone who's not familiar with this, in men's restrooms, these urinals that we have that are just for number one, for pee. You see, there's no poop that goes into these.
Ideally.
It happens, especially in fraternity houses, but when you pee in one of these receptacles, oftentimes they're designed in a way that it almost seems they didn't give a shit that liquid is splashing back onto you, onto your shins, onto your shoes, onto the ground around this urinal device. And the problem is, a lot of that, I mean, you're peeing in there, and it's like, oh, okay, well, a couple drops of my own piss, who gives a shit? But everybody's peeing into this thing. Everybody's pee is getting all over you and the floor, and it's gross. In some urinals, a lot of the time, you'll walk up to them, and you can just see, well,
so sticky.
This is currently a splashy urinal. And there's so many of them in this
many.
world. Sticky?
So many. It's
Yeah.
gross.
Well, here's the thing. There are all these different designs, all these different companies. And every once in a while, I'll come to one and the thing that we ended up discussing way back in the original episode, first 100 episodes for sure of this podcast, it got to a point where there was somebody who was like, somebody invented this fly. They paint this fake fly on the urinal, and if you pee on that exact spot, no splash. But only with certain ones or something, certain urinals. I just don't like.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how it works out for Larry on the show, first of all.
Yeah, we haven't seen it used yet, right?
No, we have not seen it used. It's only been demonstrated. And then his decision to put essentially a squatty potty in the women's restroom, thinking that women can only pee. And I was just like, have you never been so if you've never traveled abroad, a lot of toilet situations in other countries are literally just a hole and places for your feet to squat over.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at Larry's invention. I was like, well, one, it's not really that much of an invention. It's more just an inconvenience because now I can't even squat over it properly because it's facing the wrong way.
Well, the female one was just straight a joke.
Straight a joke, right?
Because the guy goes, Vince Vaughn asks him, did you consult with any women on this? And he's like, no.
No, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
Where did their pants go? How they figure it out.
How And then they're both just sitting there like comfortable, like
Yeah,
it looks like
just-
they're riding motorcycles.
Yeah, yeah.
But the splash, oh, by the way, to your point too.
Yeah.
That there are places where the toilets are even shittier, but there are also places where these toilets, like it's in Asian countries, in Japan and in China, where they have toilets that are way, 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 way advanced in front of ours.
Right. Can I tell you, I get really upset when I go to like these fancier Japanese restaurants in Austin and they don't have the really nice Toto toilets. I'm like, you've missed a golden opportunity.
I don't even know what that would entail.
A golden opportunity.
I mean, the really nice Toto toilet. Like
It does everything for you.
So you've used one of these.
Yeah.
Is it as magical as it sounds?
I mean, they're pretty nice. The heated toilet seat is great. It like cleans itself. It's got like UV lights.
It plays music.
Plays music.
It sprays water up your ass. It
You can
cleans
temperature control the water.
I mean, what the fuck are we doing here,
Whole
people?
new world.
My toilet seat is barely clinging to the fucking thing. Every time I sit down, it slides off the damn side. The Japanese have music coming from their toilets.
They also have impeccable public restrooms.
Holy shit, I'm watching a video of this thing in action.
That is your next stuff to Wikipedia when you're high is Toto toilets. But yeah, my other thing, so seeing this thing with Larry, I thought about the fact that we now have more like all gender restrooms,
Yes.
which I'm chill with, but I still am the person who looks to see if it's the restroom with urinals in it or not, because the floors are gross, because people who use urinals inevitably get stuff on the floor. And like recently I went to like a really fancy gala and all of these people were in these fancy ball gowns and they'd walk in and then immediately run out because they were like, oh my God, the floor is so sticky. And this is not a
Yeah.
nice hotel. And so even at the nice places, folks who stand to urinate are still making a mess.
Yeah, this was always going to be the problem that we inevitably came to with the restrooms. Is that y'all don't want none of this shit here, do we? Our restrooms are disgusting, men's. They're just gross in there. Everything about it. The more you bring us into other restroom situations, the more those other restroom situations are going to get destroyed. One of these restaurants in Austin that has the gender neutral restrooms, is called. Fuck, it doesn't matter. It's on South Lamar, possibly South Congress. It's South. Anyway, it's real nice, but you walk in, right? And the first part of the restroom, you walk in the restroom, and there's all the sinks.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody comes to those sinks after they've gone. And then you go back, and it's like the individual doors to the stalls or whatever.
Right.
And then that's another element of it is like it's almost music festival-ish where, like if you're picking this is a popular restaurant, right? You're going in, you're moving. Once you've picked a door to sort of approach,
You got to go in it.
you're done. So if that one happens to be the one some, sprayer used before,
However, I will let you know women's restrooms are also disgusting.
I've heard this too.
They're gross.
But I still don't think y'all know what you're dealing with in terms of like,
Spray
the level of
spray
disrespect
all
from men.
over the toilet seat.
okay,
all
maybe it
over.
is as bad.
It's just as bad. Humans are just gross.
It's just people are gross.
We just got to learn to clean up after ourselves
Maybe.
a
Or
little bit more.
we need Larry to invent a toilet that solves all of our problems. Also, he had and this is the other part of his ridiculousness in this, other than inventing a toilet that has a no splash, whatever. No shitting in his restaurant.
That's not. Someone's going to shit in all of those things he's put in because it's a coffee shop.
Yes,
It's a coffee shop.
it's a coffee shop, and the man is saying no pooping.
Like
That's just not
every
right.
coffee shop I know has things in their bathroom because they know everyone shits in there.
Yes,
Matches,
yes.
plants,
Better smell disguisers than most
poopery.
bathrooms. Yes, every single one of them. Because they know. I don't know what Larry's thinking here, and the fact that wasn't addressed upset me.
I think it's going to happen the minute he opens. Someone's just going to go shit all over everything. That's
Now
gonna-
we have this to look forward to.
Yes. It's
I had not-
official predictus.
I had not considered the inevitable poop apocalypse coming for Larry.
It's going to happen.
Huh.
And I hope it's Larry. I
Oh,
hope he
he has
is
to
at his
shit.
own place and he's got to go.
And
Because
he
he's
has to
already,
poop.
because they've already preset it with the other restaurant scene where he's like, you got to leave the bathroom, man. I got to go.
Yeah.
So he's fine
Oh,
going at other
yes.
restaurants.
Sweet karmic justice coming for Larry. Can't wait for that. I was also thinking about this right before we started recording. And like the gender neutral restrooms that we just discussed. Like, you ever been to the W?
Mm-hmm.
They have the nicest goddamn bathrooms in the world.
They're made for people to hook up in.
And to do drugs.
Yes, 100%.
Gender-neutral bathrooms, perhaps worse for going to the restroom, but much better for doing drugs and having sex.
Yeah, indeed.
We can't win them all, you know?
Can't check everything off the list for a bathroom.
But we can win some of them. RBP 272 is also brought to you by HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, now from just $5.66 per serving. Get mouth-watering seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. They make cooking at home fun, easy, and affordable. Break out of your dinner rut with HelloFresh's 22-plus seasonal, chef-curated recipes each week. There's something for everyone, including low-calorie, vegetarian, family-friendly recipes. They have more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so now you know you're getting something delicious. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and prepping so you can enjoy cooking dinner and get it on the table in just about 30 minutes, even 20 minutes, with their quick recipe options. The average trip to the grocery store, by the way, takes 41 minutes. That's over 35 hours a year if you go once a week. And seriously, every time I've made one of these HelloFresh meals, I am amazed that even I, the village idiot of the kitchen, formerly totally incapable of cooking himself any meal of any kind, even I am able to crush these. That's how simple the instructions are, the breakout of the ingredients. It's incredible, and they're so damn good and so much better for me than literally everything else that I eat. So much better than me slamming another fast food meal down my gullet. Go to HelloFresh.com/RBP10 and use code RBP10. 10 free meals, including free shipping. HelloFresh.com/RBP10. Use the code RBP10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping. Next and final segment, RBP Impact Initiative update. So we've been doing the RBP Impact Initiative in 2020. We did a call out for the first couple months, into last year too even, asking y'all to email in ross@rossbolenpodcast.com with your individual stories about, you know, what it is that draws you to this show, why you listen, how it's impacted you or anybody around you or whatever. And we've been sharing those. We did an entire episode that was focused just on the RBP Impact Initiative and sharing your stories as listeners, which is came out 27 days ago if you haven't listened to it yet. You are 27 days the fuck behind. What happened to you? In high school, you were the man, homie. Episode 265 was RBP Impact Initiative. Go back and listen to that. So, what we've been doing since is just sharing some as they come in, here and there, to remind y'all, not only that you're not alone, but that some of you have really cool stories and that to keep them coming, just in case, because there's always people finding the show. So if somebody finds a show and then they have something crazy, I want to hear that eventually, you know? Here's one from a guy named J-Dog. We changed the names. Ross, my guy, I've loved listening to all the impact initiatives submitted the past few weeks. They are truly a work of art, and it is awesome to hear how none of us are alone. And that's why, after much debate, I figured I'd open up with my own experience. I'm 22 and became a police officer right when I turned 21. I've been on the job almost 2 years now, and I work for a small rural. Why can't I say that? Rural. It's always a struggle. A small rural town, totally alone on the night shift, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. When all my friends are either recent postgrads or about to graduate, I never finished school and just got right to work. All my friends are still going out and raging face, and I like to join them from time to time, but I definitely don't have the normal life you'd expect for a 22-year-old. Alas, it is what I've chosen for myself. I've had to see and do some fucked up shit due to my profession, he says, and it can be a lot. As a guy who thinks he's pretty masculine, I try and laugh off some of the bad stuff and act like it doesn't faze me. Bodies ejected from car wrecks, telling parents that their son-daughter was killed, won't be coming home, having a 3-year-old kid pass away in my arms in front of his mother, grown men looking me in the eyes and telling me that they would kill me if it means they avoid going back to jail. None of it hits me until, well, it decides it wants to hit me. Sometimes at work I have to pull over behind one of the abandoned buildings in town so I don't wreck my car from sobbing uncontrollably. I'll cry until I literally can't cry anymore. I've got to move on because I got to go to the next call I get. But damn it, Ross, I'd be lying if I said turning on the RBP and hearing the catchy-ass intro song and all the outlandish shit you and AJ, Mike, and Jared talk about doesn't bring a smile to my face when I'm at my lowest. Your podcast is like a shot of life when I need it most. There's nothing like hearing Ron Bowler on full display, and I can laugh my ass off to get my mind off things from time to time. And then a series of compliments. Gang, 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 J-Dog. J-Dog! The The more cops we get, the more comfortable I feel with the police. There's like 6 of y'all now. So we got six cops at least that I feel comfortable will not plant drugs on me when they pull me over.
Or maybe it's just an elaborate scheme.
They're just slowly working their way towards me?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to the next one. This one's from Addison. It says, "Hi, Ross. Let me make sure this is... Oh, my dad is the media specialist, the new term for librarian. Did you know this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Media specialist? That's been around for a while now.
Oh, I'm still been going around calling them librarians like a dickhead.
I think it depends on their education level, perhaps.
Ah, okay. That's interesting.
Or where they work. But anyway, yeah.
I didn't know we got all snooty with our...
My high school, colloquially librarian was a media specialist.
No shit, okay. At a high school in her hometown, she says, one of his biggest undertakings this year was creating a podcast for the school where he brings in a guest alumni / former teachers to talk about their time in high school, their careers, and the history of the school itself. First of all, I love that. It's fucking hilarious. There's a high school...
With a podcast about that high school.
About the high school.
Yeah.
I would listen to that
It's a cool,
if I went to school there.
History building.
Yeah, right? It's kind of cool. Before we started making the podcast 6 months ago, I suggested he check out RBP to see how you do guest interviews and organize your podcast into segments. That's funny. This past Saturday, I listened to his newest and best so far episode and called him to tell him congratulations. Good for you for supporting your dad. One thing he mentioned was how he started putting segments in the description, quote, like Ross does, end quote. First of all, didn't invent that, but also thank you. Turns out he's been listening to your podcast this whole time. We both think you're hilarious, so I'd like to thank you for being one of the podcasts my dad and I can enjoy together. Also, on a shorter note, that most recent Patreon column that literally was sent out a few hours ago hit exactly where it needed to for me. Thanks for writing that. Have a great day. And remember, you're not alone. Thank you, Addison. And also shouts to your media specialist father for listening. Shouts to all the media specialists out there in the RBP gang. Also, can we get Farmer Gang? Where you at? Where the snaps at? Are y'all still doing the crops? If you shut down because of the coronavirus, it's been like 3 weeks. I'm not seeing crops here. Send me the crops. Your boy will put up the pictures. I like the big tractors. There's something about them. I'm like 8. I'm 8 years old.
Have you ever been on like a functioning farm?
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We're in Texas.
That's true.
Yeah.
We live in
that'd be a
city,
normal
but
question anywhere else. But
yeah.
no, here, it'd be weird to me if at some point you weren't taken to a farm growing up in Texas, either middle school for a trip of some,
Right.
field trip, or you don't have a relative that don't have fun, then that's weird to me. Yeah. What kind of farm did y'all roll in Canada?
My dad grew up on a cattle farm.
How's the Canadian cattle
Good.
compared to ours?
It's pretty similar, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is ours so lauded? It's just with open space. Canada's good for this too, I bet.
Yeah.
So
we're
the
good.
cold doesn't affect the
No, you just get a different kind of cow.
different kind of cow.
They're fuzzy cows. They're real fucking cute.
Y'all have the Canadian fuzzy cow.
They're closer to like our British fam, like what cows they have.
I wonder what happens if oh yeah. We talked about these fuzzy cows at one point. Highland cattle.
Yeah,
They were the animal of the week. At some point, it's going to be funny because I've done every animal that exists as animal of the week.
There's a lot of animals though.
And whenever I do one, it's like I get credit for it almost, you know? Anytime people see the animal.
Eventually, there's going to be like a wiki tag that's like has been featured
on the Ross Bolen podcast.
As an animal.
I'm not kidding you though. People will see like a National Geographic picture of a penguin we talked about 2 years ago. And then they'll tag me and be like, "Yo, Nat Geo listens to the show." And I'm like, no, they don't.
They just document
Animals.
Yeah.
You think at Nat Geo, they got one guy in an office somewhere who's listening to podcasts, and I do an animal of the week that he once took a photo of, and he's like, "Yo, Ross saw my photos." That's actually way more likely.
Did you know they put in all of the sounds of the animals on like documentaries and stuff after? Like that's not the naturally
Occurring sound?
occurring or recorded sound.
Why is that?
Because it's too hard to actually capture stuff with the kind of lenses they're using. They're so far
Far away. They don't have a boom mic
you can't
over
boom
there.
that. Yeah, no, it all happens later.
I had never considered that. That must be an enormous pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like an enormous pain in the ass. They got to go in and make every fucking noise fit.
They got to find a way. Yeah.
This is shit
Crazy,
that you
right?
be doing?
I've done I haven't done like to that extent, but yeah, I've done nature Foley work.
Myrriah does editing and such. You want to
Yeah.
tell people a little bit about your... No?
I mean,
Yeah, fuck them all.
I record stuff.
She
And
records
I
stuff.
make it sound fun.
And edits stuff, too.
Yeah. Also, coyotes, whenever you hear a coyote in a film, it's usually a wolf howl because real coyotes sound like screaming children.
Did know that one.
Yeah.
I had heard that one.
Screaming children. It's
Which-
terrifying.
It might have been you who told me it, but it's also scary because and I think last time this was told me, I brought this up. I get these warnings about coyotes in my neighborhood like bi-monthly.
Yeah. So if you hear screaming kids, it's probably a coyote.
That's a coyote, not a child.
Mm-hmm.
It's problematic. Either one is bad.
Yeah.
Frankly. We should leave. That will do it for today's show. But before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, if you want more RBP every month, you know where to get it. Ad-free. Patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Support the podcast, and in exchange, you will get more ad-free RBP only for supporters on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who's been on there holding it down in 2020. Means a lot. Thank you so much. And for those of you who have the opportunity or the ability, get in there, support us, and you'll get more episodes in turn. You have three legal obligations you've been saddled with as a result of having listened to this entire episode. First and foremost, you must rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts. Second, you must tell one friend, family member, coworker, neighbor, any one individual that you can think of that might enjoy this show. You must share it with them this week. One person this week, one person next week, one person every week until the week you die. And then your final legal obligation is to use those codes. Use those sponsor codes. Support the sponsors that are supporting us and keeping us in business here. Shouts to our newest sponsor, Riomar, but also Leesa, Away, and HelloFresh, all on this episode. Follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WR Bolen. We're on Facebook somewhere if you're the middle-aged aunt of one of our listeners. Myrriah, where can we follow you on social media and hear more of your voice? Or see more of your work or hear more of your work?
All the things. Yeah. So I'm at Myrriah Gossett on all social media platforms. That's Myrriah with a Y, Gossett with 2 S's and 2 T's. I also co-host with Mike and Grant on the Star Trek Pod. That's at Star Trek Pod on all of the socials. It's Star Trek Discovery Pod. If you want to find that podcast, we're going to be
And
talking
y'all are
about
covering
it
Picard,
tonight.
right?
Yeah, we're covering Picard right now. We also have a back catalog of every episode of Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, shit.
So if you want to get nerdy, come on down and take a listen. So it's super fun.
I was about to say to infinity and beyond.
Wrong.
That is
Nope.
not it.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Fuck me.
We're
Brain
gonna get
fart.
there.
It's the end of the day. It's been a really
you
long
got the
one.
hand symbol right.
Look, I've got the hands. I know
can
it's live
do
long
it.
and prosper. My dad is a Trekkie.
You got
It's
it.
okay. I'll be forgiven. Also, what else? Oh, Westworld is coming very soon, like in a few weeks, couple weeks even. I don't even.
I did not know Tessa Thompson was going to be on this new season, and I might have to watch now.
Yeah, I love her. What is the date for Westworld? Westworld season 3.
It's like right
Release
after
date.
South by, so it's like
March 15th.
Yeah, that day.
We got 10 days on the nose until Westworld is back. Freeze All Motor Functions is the Westworld podcast you need to be subscribed to. Also brought to you by Bolen Media. You're familiar with Jared Borslow, one of our co-hosts here at RBP. Jared runs FAMP, as it's called, Freeze All Motor Functions, and I'm sort of like the co-host. And basically the show is we watch Westworld, and then we come in and we record a podcast. And in between that time, though, Jared has rewatched the episode and taken hours and hours of notes, and I have slept. And I show up and I say, what the fuck was that? And then Jared explains it to me. That's the show. And it's great. Jared does a phenomenal job of making sure we understand every episode and that I actually know what I'm watching. I always feel way more comfortable. It's and if you've never watched a show like this with a podcast, what's a companion podcast, it's really, really fun. We did this with Game of Thrones on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, which is obviously now our general television and film podcast here at Bolen Media. But that experience of watching a television show with millions of other people and then having this like shared podcast with it is just so cool, and it just brings another. It's like, you know, and in some ways, and this is the reason we started doing this, is because there were shows that provided me this experience. In some ways, the podcast becomes more enjoyable than the TV show, and it's just a funny element to it. So Freeze All Motor Functions. If you're gonna watch Westworld season 3, if you're not, you're a fool. If you haven't seen 1 and 2 of Westworld, we have podcast episodes for every single one of those. Go listen to them after you watch each one. And then Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. Right now we're covering Curb Your Enthusiasm, as I mentioned. and Larry David's Latte Larry situation, which we'll hopefully see unfold with some poop.
I think it's going to happen.
We want some poop. And The Outsider, which only has one more episode left and is likely to be quite terrifying in the end. That will do it for RBP 272, recorded and produced by Mike Moody and Grant Davis at Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. We'll be back soon with episode 273, RBP 273, coming soon. You are not alone. Podman gets paid. Respect Mr. Park. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Peace be with you and also with you.
Peace be with you and also with you. Go low, baby.